In social psychology, there is a concept called a bystander effect, a phenomenon where individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim in the presence of other people. And beyond psychology, there's actually a mathematical explanation for this phenomena. And it doesn't just apply to victims, we can use it to explain why roommates in a shared household all refuse to take out the trash, or why neighborhood watches always seem to lack volunteers at night. The mathematics I'm referring to is game theory, a study of strategic interactions between rational agents. In the first example, we have a group of people who all see a victim, and we can represent their subsequent decisions through a game. In a game, we look at the combinations of actions and their result in a matrix. Imagine you witness a crime. You have two choices. You can either help or do nothing. If you decide to do nothing, you suffer no immediate cost. You can simply move along with your day as if nothing happened. But if you decide to help, you will have to spend some of your time and potentially expose yourself to some danger in the process. That's one side of the game. And on the other side of the game is everyone else in the crowd. Each individual in the crowd faces the same challenges that you do, so we can represent this using the following matrix. Here, a cost or a benefit arises from the combination of actions. If you refuse to help and everyone else also refuses, the victim suffers. This might result in some guilt or potentially legal consequences, which we'll revisit later in the video. Overall, this is a negative effect. However, if you don't volunteer and someone else does, well then you just save yourself some time and the victim is safe. So we can see if you don't volunteer, the outcome is vastly different depending on what other people do. Now what if you decide to help? Well, someone else in the crowd could also offer to help, and in this case you have some assistance, so it consumes less of your time. But if no one else helps, well you've just had to spend a significant amount of your time helping a victim, representing a bigger cost. Now the way decisions are chosen here is by balancing what the expected cost of helping and not helping is. So going back to legal consequences, you may live in a state where there are no Good Samaritan laws. This means you might have a massive liability should anything go wrong in the process of helping the victim. And this reduces the relative benefit of volunteering and pushes the game towards no one helping. This is exactly why these laws exist. They help to reduce the cost of helping, making it more likely that someone from the crowd would volunteer. And going one step further, some states have a reasonable requirement to provide assistance. Failure to do so might result in legal consequences. But that's just one example how game theory can be used to explain why people fail to volunteer. Throughout history, humans have formed societies. However, who is responsible for securing that society? This is a sizable cost and it requires investing in infrastructure such as defense, as well as potentially sacrificing one's life to defend the community. And if someone else is willing to do all of this, can you just get away with doing nothing? Similar examples include major conflicts or even the fact that streetlights exist. If game theory explains that it's better to do nothing, then how can we modify the game? This is sometimes called the collective action dilemma or the public goods dilemma. A public good is something that benefits all members of a society but represents a cost to only those that invest in it. Part of the solution was taxation. This solves the case of streetlights or even providing defense, as it legally enforces a cost on all citizens so that progress can be made instead of being stuck in decision purgatory. Here the option of volunteering is removed. You can either pay your taxes or avoid paying your taxes and suffer the legal consequences. And if we want to explain major conflicts, well, if the safety of your country was guaranteed, whether or not you volunteered for a war, it might be tempting to sit out. The most common solution to this is a mandatory draft, or even some propaganda. This was employed in basically every major conflict. And it's not just legal consequences, social consequences from the image of being perceived as unpatriotic or selfish. These factors change the game so much that a difficult decision becomes a no-brainer. So how can you potentially apply this to your life? Well, consider the example of a shared household. Who does the chores? Well, techniques such as employing a punishment or offering a reward can make it so that people are more likely to take action. Something as simple as developing a rota puts the onus on a single person, and the cost of defecting would be to anger the entire household. Game theory is extremely insightful at explaining social phenomena, such as the mass strikes crippling the United Kingdom currently. Click this video to find out why some countries are more likely to go on strikes than others, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.